You commented that you picked up first base in the majors. Is that rather unusual to have somebody start with a brand new position at that level as opposed to, kind of grooming themselves all the way up and just easing into it?
Probably before me, it was very unusual. Now it happens all the time because all of these players are told to be versatile. You can look at a guy like Mookie Betts. So Mookie Betts is an MVP. He was an outfielder. He's now playing some second. He's playing some short. You look at some of the best, DJ LeMahieu, really good utility player. A lot of times these guys show up to the ballpark, there's an injury, but they need that bat in the lineup. So the manager will go, "Hey, can you play left field?" "Yeah, I can play. It's baseball. I can go play left field." So unlike, it's like I remember when Magic Johnson, I used to watch the Lakers and Celtics growing up. I just, 80s NBA was the best. And I remember when Magic Johnson had to play center because Kareem got hurt. If y'all remember that. I mean, Magic Johnson understood how to play center because he's a basketball player. And I think for us, it's tough to pitch. It's tough to catch. Other than that, you should be able to play baseball. You should be able to play every position. And I think it's happening way more now where guys are, multi-talented. They get to the big leagues and wherever there's a spot, their bat is going to be in the lineup and you need to learn how to play that position.
Well, it's kind of like Ryan Zimmerman for the Nats. I mean, storied career at third base. They want him in the lineup for his leadership and his bat, but he can't throw the ball from third base anymore. So they make him a first baseman, and he played really well there.
Bryce Harper, another good example. Yeah, Bryce Harper is now the first baseman of the Phillies. This is a Hall of Fame caliber talent, and it's like, all right, you're gonna play first now because you got a bad elbow.
Yeah, could have knocked me over with a feather on that one. So let's talk a little bit about the other side of the game, the hitting piece. We got a few questions for you on that. First of all, you played with and alongside some greats like Derek Jeter, Alex Rodriguez, Albert Pujols. You were all really good hitters. You had to face the toughest pitching on the planet. Who were some of the toughest pitchers you had to go up against that were so hard that were baffling to take on?
If you look at the numbers, guys like Justin Verlander owned me. Justin Verlander, because he could put the ball wherever he wanted. And I hit a home run off him on an inside fastball in Yankee Stadium. And for the rest of my career, I was looking for inside fastballs, and he never gave me another one. So of course that was
surprise.
Fault. But Verlander could read you. Yeah, he could read you and understood what how to get you out, and still in his 40s is still getting people out. James Shields for a different reason, cutter changeup, and for a left when I was hitting left-handed and right-handed too, if you could throw a cutter in on my hands. And then, hard, and then throw a soft changeup that faded down and away. And as the ball's coming to you, I'm not sure which one it is until it's halfway there, and in your mind, you got to make that decision. I could never tell between his cutter and his changeup. And those are two majorly different pitches. So he gave me a lot of trouble. But I would rather face those guys than Mariano Rivera and I played with Mo for 5 years with the Yankees. And the reason that Mariano Rivera was so good, I believe I was 1-for-9 with a broken bat single off him in my career before I joined him as a teammate. His cutter breaks the computer in our head, what allows us to hit. We're trained. I can't teach you how to hit. It's just ingrained in you. When he throws that cutter and it's so hard and it cuts so late, it breaks the software, and nobody understands how to hit it. And that's why he was so dominant for so long. So I just never wanted to face that guy.
Yeah.
Well, you talked about, batting left, batting right. So you were a switch hitter throughout your whole career. So that seems like it would be kind of difficult. And did you start out practicing with left and right side hitting as a kid out of curiosity, or was that something you intentionally developed? And how do you be effective from both sides of the plate? What advice do you have?
So the first piece of advice to anybody now is don't be a switch hitter. It is extremely difficult. And the advanced scouting reports and the way that pitchers learn how to throw multiple different pitches, I don't believe switch hitting is as much of an advantage as it was 20 years ago when I started in the big leagues. So that's the first piece of advice I give is pick one side, left or right, and just get really good one way. But back to my original comment about growing up an Eddie Murray fan, like in Baltimore, I watched Eddie Murray. And in the backyard playing wiffle ball, I was like, well, Eddie Murray hits left-handed. Let me hit left-handed also. I'm naturally right-handed. And my dad found out really quickly that, like, man, this kid's got a pretty good left-handed swing. So in batting practice, we would try it. And every now and then in a game, if, say I'm 8 years old and we're winning by 6 or 7 runs, I'd go up there and I'd hit left-handed. But it wasn't until, and some coaches were extremely supportive and would say, hey, Mark, yeah, go ahead, go hit left-handed a couple at bats this game. Some, no way, we need you getting hits every time right-handed, and didn't let me hit left-handed. My dad, when I was 13 years old, we were about to start that season. I believe I was in 8th grade, and my dad called the coach of the kind of the select team in our area and said, if you want Mark to play on your team, you got to let him switch hit. And the coach said, okay, no problem. And at 13 years old, I started switch hitting full time because it was, I don't want to say, it was easy, but hitting right-handed against competition in Maryland was easy in 8th grade. So I wanted a challenge and I wanted to see if I could do it. And, probably by the end of high school, junior, senior year, I was even from both sides. It took probably 3 years to really get comfortable from both sides of the plate. And in my big league career, my stats are very similar. Now I have more power left-handed and I hit for better average right-handed. But, if you take those advanced stats and OPS and all these other things, runs created, pretty similar both sides of the plate, which I'm proud of.